All right. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're all there. I have with me the races of the first race. So, I hope you can all hear me now. And I hope that everything will work here. All right. Anyone with me in voice chat? Hello? I see you all there sneaking around.
Hello.
Hello.
There they are. So, welcome everyone.
Here I am. I pressed the wrong things.
Press the wrong buttons. We have here Dosu Fura. Dofu, are you here?
Hi.
Hi there. Who else is there? Luik, are you there?
Hi.
Welcome. And next
Thank you.
is Panda.
Hello, how you doing?
Hello, Panda. Welcome. And of course, Simon.
Hello.
Hi there. And I see that I am joined also by Rodney. Welcome, Rodney.
Hello.
Hope I can
I'm here.
level you out so everyone is audible. All right. I'm ready when you guys are, so you know how to start a run. Just get ready to reset from checkpoint. And when you all are there, we can get this very first race underway. And if you feel like it, you can go give insights of what you're currently doing. And if you don't feel like it, I will just give some commentary and talk some nonsense. All right.
Just don't do something illegal. I'm watching guys.
It's NMG, right? You remember that, right? All right. You can also
does a hunger.
you can go to the screen where it says, "Are you sure you want to reset from checkpoint?" And then we can go from there.
Oh, fuck. Oh, sorry.
No worries.
Accident did the thing.
All right. Tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right. I hear
Almost there.
3 readies.
Okay, now I'm ready.
All right. Then you can go racing in 3, 2, 1, and let's go.
Ooh. Good luck, everyone.
Good luck.
Yeah, for everyone that hasn't seen any races on this Twitch channel, there will always be a bit of difference in delays between the runners. But this time it looks really, really good, I think. So there will be a little of just a little bit of delay that we can see between the runners. So what's the category? No major glitches. I talked about it very briefly in the introduction, but basically it's play the game as fast as possible while not completely breaking it with glitches. I mean, there are a few glitches in Little Nightmares 1, but I think it's not the most broken game you will ever see. But still, we got some nice little tricks and stuff that you can do. But now we just get the pure essence of the game, playing without many glitches. Just having to move well, manage your stamina well, and do some little movement tricks that can gain you some time. I mentioned stamina. You might not think that Little Nightmares has a stamina bar or stamina mechanic, but actually the first game does. Different to the second game where you can basically infinite sprint for as long as you want and jump for as long as you want, as long as you don't jump 3 times. then you will do a little stumble animation. But for the first game, you actually have a stamina meter that goes from values from 0 to 100. And when you are at 0, you will have decreased movement speed, and I think also jump distance is a little bit less. So for the first part, the prison chapter, the most important thing for all runners will be to manage their stamina. And I just completely forgot that you might want game audio. Here you go. So what you will see is sprinting and then walking in some sprinting in most sections and then walking in some others to ensure that stamina will generate back up to the values needed. And then there is a little technique that we'll not see here, or like for most parts won't really see it. Because okay, I'm gonna fix audio, I think. Alright. I hope audio is better now. I'm decently audible. So, all the 3 runners. So, what I saw was that Dosu, Luik, and Sai basically started at the same time, and we have a little bit of delay to Panda, so keep that in mind when you judge where everyone is. Say they are pretty much level right now. And yeah. One nice little technique that you just saw with Simon and also Luik doing it right now is 0 hops, and it was indeed found by Sai. Was it you or was it Nico?
Yeah, it was.
So do you want to talk a bit about how 0 hops work?
Yeah, okay, so if you don't have any stamina, the game where you can jump before you actually touch the ground, well, you can do it with any level of stamina, but at 0 stamina you get a slightly different animation, and apparently that also changes some aspects of the jump itself to where you can actually avoid getting speed capped, so you can just keep whatever speed you had up until that moment. And if you chain enough of those, you can essentially go at double sprinting speed. So yeah, that's nice for longer sections.
Yeah, so that will be used in sections where there are long straights with like level ground, because that makes it a lot easier to get the timing right. Because you can't just spam jump, you actually have to... Oops. Don't do it, Sai.
Okay, nobody saw that.
Nobody saw that.
It was
accidental hunger skip.
Well,
oof.
So
really?
Simon run will
just
not be on the leaderboard.
So baked into a memory.
Yeah, it's just in muscle memory, so bad.
Add 8 seconds to my time at the end. Get the fair time. I'm so glad I finally didn't automatically skip the first one. And then I automatically skipped the second one.
You were just happy, celebrating. Oh yeah, I didn't skip the first one.
Finally!
Automatically. Fingers were like, okay, we're gonna skip the second one then.
He just wants to win that badly.
Okay, then add 20 seconds to my time.
So yeah, what we were talking about right now was a hunger skip. Basically these hunger animations that you can still see on Panda's screen right now, where 6 will crawl down and then yeah, basically don't move. Like you can't move, you can't really do anything, just wait for the animation to stop. And that animation is like about 6 to 8 seconds, depending on chapter and which hunger you are at right now. And yeah, in
I
any
didn't
percent,
DRush enough.
in any percent you would skip these animations to save these yeah, 6 to 8 seconds depending on which chapter you're in. And basically how you do that, there's like a few options, but basically you override the animation of the hunger with any other animation. For most, we will use the stumble animation. So if you move into one specific direction, I think it's like 3 times in a row, or like alternate between directions.
Four
Oh,
button presses.
4 button presses, okay. Then 6 will do a little stumble animation, and that can cancel the hunger animation. So that's what we use in any %, and the one that Sai accidentally did was using the ledge grab animation to skip to skip the second hunger in prison. So now for this part, there's like the first little difference in between the runners, because you can drop down the shaft with the box by grabbing it and then jumping off at the bottom, or you can go to the bottom and reset from checkpoint before you die, or you just
Or you just die beforehand and
yeah,
lose
and
30 seconds.
just hit some random geometry and then die before it. So yeah, we saw Dotu, Luik, and Panda go for the grab. Sai tried it first time and then jumped off into some geometry and then did the reset checkpoint the second time. Now there will be some more 0 hops along here. And then they will maneuver their way around the second Medusa's Eye, as we have come to call it. That's not an official name, I think. So
Well, it turns you into stone, so it's pretty good, I guess.
Giving everybody a headshot.
now that is the first chapter complete for Dofu and Luik, and they're now going into the second chapter, which is the lair. Now we see Panda finishing up. I'll say it again. Keep in mind that we have a little bit more delay to Panda, so his picture will always be like, or like his video will always be a little bit behind.
Well, I'm not sure if you saw it. You know that door where you do that weird jump, and right after the leeches.
Hmm?
I accidentally fell to my death.
No, okay.
I launched.
Sai died twice now, I think, so you're fine.
All right.
Yeah.
I think you de-rusted today, right, Sai?
Yeah. 1 hour ago.
I mean, that's enough preparation. So this is the second chapter, the lair, and each chapter, like apart from the first probably, has their own enemy type, or probably for the first chapter it's just the leeches. The second chapter will feature a certain Mr. Long Arms that we'll see in a bit. And then we will go on to see some other enemy types further down the road. But we'll get to that when we cross that bridge. But now here comes the second set of hunger skips normally. Right now I just remind all viewers, all runners to not do any hunger skips here.
Yeah.
Just keep
Looking
running.
at you, Simon.
not talking to anyone specific here, just giving it out there, you know, so that everyone remembers it. Yeah, big shout out to our 2 Japanese runners, by the way, Dosufura and Luik. I think it's like 2:13. Yeah, Dynamics just posted it. 2:13 in Japan, 2:13 a.m. That is.
Correct.
So you two are insane. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate it.
Normal hours.
Yeah, thank you.
Whoever watched the LN2 event a few months, like 2 months ago probably, will remember Dofu, because you ran a few categories there, so big part of the community. Right, no accidental hunger skips as far as I could judge, so we're good here.
It's pretty difficult to get an accidental hunger skip by excluding tripping, of course.
Yeah.
On the last
Not
one, you
gonna
can
lie,
get,
I
like,
almost did it. I hesitated for a brief moment.
All right, and there is Mr. Longarms that I talked about. His real name is Roger, and he's the janitor of the Maw. That being the world, or the world that we are in, or the ship, or whatever you might call it, that we are on. And we will, or the runners will face this enemy for a little while now, but yeah, in the end we will, of course, have a nice little meeting with him in close up and personal, and you'll see what the runners will do to him there. And but first we have to maneuver through basically all of his territory, which starts with this little workshop that we will see for the runners coming up now. And basically, as you might judge from his model, Roger can't see you because he's blind. He will only hear you. So basically, you can run directly in front of his eyes as long as you don't make any noise. So, or if you're fast enough, you can just make a lot of noise and just run through. That's also a possibility. And of course, the way that speedrunners will go through this.
The layer's also the longest chapter of the speedrun at this point.
That's it.
Yeah.
For any
Oh,
percent.
wow.
Is it still for NMG though?
I think it is still, yes.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. So we will be here longest, so we will see this chapter for the longest time. And I think the last chapter is the one that we will see for the least amount of time, because it's the smallest one. All right.
about one slide. Nice.
So if you paid close attention to how everything looked before, you might recognize the place that
Ooh.
most of our runners are in right now, because this is the elevator that they took down, and now they are taking it up again, because we need to go the other way now. Yeah, and here you can see that he's clearly blind because they're just standing right in front of him. But can't really make any noise, 'cause then he might see you. Nice clean monkey jump from Dofu. Luik had to reset from checkpoint. That's not too much of a time loss, but still very good. Nice one from Panda. So basically how this kind of works is that it seems that like pushing objects into other objects makes the other object think that you're pushing with twice the force, basically. So it just adds up the force you're pushing it with. At least that's what I think. I'm not 100% sure that that's how it works, but it seems like it works that way. So you can basically push up the plank with the box on it by jumping on the monkey. Now here's a little bit of RNG, because sometimes the shoe that you have to pick up here to throw it at the bottom will actually drop through the floor, and yeah, then you have to quickly adjust and take another shoe.
And just pray for Roger not to hear you.
Yeah, and basically pray for him to not hear you, and also don't touch him, because he might actually feel that. So next up is a little trick that you can do also because Roger is blind. And his AI is a little bit jank.
Hello.
Oh, and so you basically jump over his shoulder, and if you're in the right position, that was weird. How did that work, though? So normally you would not jump against his shoulder, and then him not grabbing you, but whatever, it worked.
That is weird.
Just use brute force. Why not?
Normally you would jump silently over his shoulder, and he normally just doesn't hear you, like Sai just did. And then you can just run through and completely ignore him because he's too slow to catch up to you. Then you turn on the TV program of your choice. We've seen, 3 different already, I think. And then you can grab the crank and just stay by the door, again abusing the fact that Roger is blind. Then you just run past him, and because you are so fast, he cannot catch up with you. And then you put in the crank. And actually, if you look to the left while putting in the crank, and Roger is actually close enough, you can see him disappear, because the moment you put in the crank, he will respawn in front of the room with the TV in it. So whatever you do, he will always reset to there the moment you put in the crank, to give you enough time to crank up the piano and move across. Then you can push this little card to go up the other side. And I think actually Sai is catching up again. The madman. And now we are closing in on our final... Whoa, that was a bit chivalric. On our final... Yeah, final meeting with Roger. Because there will be a boss fight in a bit. And you can see what rude thing the runners will do to him to escape his grasp.
Little bit of trolling.
A little bit of... Do we do a considerable amount
Just
of
a
trolling?
wee bit of trolling.
Just a tiny
Nothing
bit.
too much.
Oh. So yeah, you see
I
Roger
jumped too
sticking his hand in this vent, and you can actually just completely ignore it, jump on the hand in some places, but if you hit 1 or 2 wrong spots, you will actually get grabbed. Now this is a little something that was found with the... I think this was actually the... Was this the first place that Zero Hops were used in? Not quite, right?
And
This was actually one of the
Simon
last
found
places that it was used in, right?
yeah,
Simon found it in the kitchen,
Oh yeah, true.
I think.
So basically...
well, multiple places.
What happens
Over
here
time.
is a different version of the boss fight than we see in any percent. We still, or the runners still pull the bar early by zero hopping, but different from any percent, there's actually no invulnerability triggered. Because there's just a different timing between pulling the bar early and Roger arriving to the fight. So, yeah, and that is actually the lair done. We might have just... And we're now going into the next chapter, the kitchen.
I love this place.
The kitchen was actually, back when I actively ran the game, was always hell. So I was fine through prison and lair, and then I would always look to kitchen to kill my runs. But yeah, I think nowadays
nothing changed.
I think nowadays it's even worse because of a new discovery that we will probably see later on in the any percent runs. But yeah, NMG is free of that evil, and the runners can now make their way through the quote-unquote old way. Yeah, next set of hunger skips. Every chapter, all of the 4 chapters in this game, or basically all of the 5 chapters in this game, have their own little hunger section. Normally we only see 4 of those 5 hunger sections because the last one is after time stops. And yeah. We also change what we're eating. First we eat a bread, now we eat a rat. And then later on there will be other things on the menu.
Delicious.
But you'll see that when we come to it.
Just pointing out quickly that Luik's run would be invalid now as well.
Nice.
That.
He
What did I miss?
accidentally skipped the first hunger.
Oh, yeah, that's the one RNG hunger skip, or like kind of RNG.
No, it's not. Well, yeah, okay.
Well,
It's
you
really
can
RNG.
basically
You can avoid it, like you can willingly avoid it. That's why I'm saying kind of RNG, because if you hit like specific set of geometry on the pile, yeah, you will stumble and that will cancel the animation. But you can just willingly go around that specific part, or just try to do it in a different way, and then you're safe from the accidental, quote unquote, accidental hunger skip.
And we are going to see some risky rafters as well.
Look at some
Yeah.
risky rafters I saw. Sai was going for save.
Under as well, if I saw it correct.
Tofu is going for save as well. And now we go towards first fast key. A thing that new any percent runs are not doing anymore because there is yeah, the abomination that is kitchen clips. But basically what you can do is get the key before the chef wakes up rather than after he wakes up. But I think Simon just did a little backup to show what you normally would do.
That's the all gnomes, all statues way to do what he did.
Yeah,
To
safe
wake him up
threat.
early so he can.
Oh yeah, that one, yeah.
So the chef is disappearing and you can get the gnome.
By dropping the pot outside of the room, right?
Yeah.
I was-
Drop the pot, drop the key, and then he's waking up.
Yeah, and then you can just... That's normally the way that you do it for yeah, all gnomes and statues, as Rodney said, because there is a gnome in that area, not in the room, but in the area that you need to hug.
Double toilet, no.
Yeah, to the right. All the way to the right.
Do the gnomes have names? I'm kind of curious.
I don't
Not really.
think so. They're
Not
just...
really?
I mean,
Well-
you can go through and name all of them, but... No.
Well, maybe one gnome has a name. The runaway
hard
kid.
spoilers.
Oh, poor meat.
Alright, so this thing is meat. And it is a little bit of RNG, you might think, but actually you can relatively consistently get it to do what you want it to do. But you need to be very precise with your inputs for that to happen. So basically what you want, obviously, is for the meat to drop as close to the chute as possible, so you don't have to drag it around for that long, because your movement speed is very slow dragging meat. So if you if you pull the first one to the corner of the table, you can get relatively consistent with it dropping towards the chute. And then the second one is a bit more tricky, the one that is on the hook, because you can, if you do it right, you can input like a diagonal left back the moment you hang onto the meat, and then alternate between that and yeah, the opposite direction to make it drop towards the chute. Alright, pretty much leveled all in between all runners, and now we'll see first fast chef elevator. You basically bait the grab from the chef, which you then dodge, and then you can just run around him and use the time that he cannot grab, because they can't just chain grab you, to get into the elevator and get up. Then you hide, wait for him to follow, and when he gets out and out of your way, you can just follow him close up to get into the next room. As Luik wonderfully presents here to get the... Oh, and that was a bit of unlucky. What you do to get the right movement is you jump onto the bench before the table and then go onto the table. That is necessary because basically the moment you jump onto the bench, the chef's AI will kind of like put a waypoint there, and then it will try to follow you to that spot before going, or instead of going straight to you. And Luik just did a nice backup for second try, and then you can perform garbage pit skip, which we saw by Sai. Was going for it as well.
Just try by
Unlucky.
Panda and Sai so far.
Nice one. And then different from any percent, if you know normal any percent runs for Little Nightmares, you know that there is the hook out of bound that you would normally do, but because this is NMG, you can't really do that. But if you get garbage pit skip, you see that the chefs don't really work that well, because you are not, or like, it's not normal that you open that door. It would normally be the chef opening that door, so they don't really like it if you do it yourself. So they just freak out.
Even if you open it after the chef passes through, the AI still breaks.
Yeah.
No.
Because you're meant to come through the vent, basically, and then they wouldn't work as intended. But yeah, it seems that there is like a trigger there somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. Everyone on the hooks, more or less. And one might actually think that this is already the end of the chapter, but actually goes a little bit further than you might initially think.
Oh, that was beautiful. I'm sorry to say that out loud, but that was beautiful with the 0 hops. I have not done that in a long time.
Nice one. Good job.
I got some nice ones as well.
Nice.
The speed.
By the way, if you want to talk about anything specific, you can just interrupt me. I'm just talking nonsense.
Well, so with the the hunger, whatever these people are, right? I just kind of want to say this right now. I'm so impressed how well their balance is on that beam. I'm just saying, like, both ships are like all over the place, floating and stuff, and they're there, just vibing along and stuff. Like, every time I see it, I'm just like, wow.
Good
Cool.
good sense of balance.
Uh,
Very good sense of balance.
Don't forget medium post processing, so you can see
Yeah, true. Because
and you jump. Yeah.
there was when you jump out of the pipe on the bottom. When you have normal settings or normal graphics settings, you will actually be blinded by the light, by the sun. But if you set it on, what was it, medium?
Medium post processing.
Yeah, medium post processing, you'll actually not get that blind, and you can just see where you're jumping and not die immediately after.
Yeah.
I'm glad I know that now.
Better now than never, I guess.
But you can also, like, if you are on keyboard, I think it's rather safe, because as long as you just do a directly right input, you can
Yeah.
you can always hit the chain to climb.
You can even jump straight down and it will still go through. So
Yeah.
you'll just get sucked into the thing.
It
Is this-
actually seems like Simon is first place again.
Yeah, he made some
Of course he
over.
is.
made some time up.
Our lad is a crazy lad.
Is this Japan versus USA? I mean, Sai's not from the USA, so I don't think so. Yeah, so this is the guest area with a little bit
Don't
of
do sausage skip. Whoa.
with a little bit of nice, yeah, just zero hopping, abusing that stamina, that zero stamina movement speed boost to go as fast through everything as possible, and then basically doing everything as quote unquote intended, but yeah. Then expect the garlic zip.
So many runs to this garlic zip.
I mean, it's not ruled out anymore. We decided to allow it because it's accidental, obviously, and it's really hard to
You
control.
don't gain any time.
You don't gain any time as well. Yeah, you might lose your whole run because you die, or you just get stuck on the tray. So
Yeah, and you don't have any speed, so you
yeah,
will
also
probably
that.
climb afterwards, etc.
Yeah, that's why we decided to not ban it, or like, yeah, that we saw it for Luik. That was what we are talking about. So basically there is a garlic on the tray, and zips work if you, I mean, I think it's like fast grab and release while holding sprint, or what was it? Or just fast grab and release, it might be that.
Just grab an object that is obscured by some
So-
means and
For the most part, I got the garlic zip when I kept pressing hold
After you
and
climb
then
up.
sprint again after I climbed up,
Yeah, okay.
and then it just boosted.
Yeah, and then you get this little weird
Broke some
movement
buttons
boost.
and then nothing else.
And yeah, and you get this weird movement boost, but after that you're at zero speed, and yeah, you just lose time basically. So yeah, Sai is back in front. So everything as expected. Just
Well,
gave everyone a little head start to make it more.
We gotta take in mind that Panda
I
is
was just too kind. I purposely died in the
actually-
beginning.
Oh yeah,
the
true.
late.
By the way, Panda might still be ahead actually because of the little delay difference.
Ah,
first hunger at 34:14 for me, so
nice.
of the guest hall. So I'm not sure what your timer is at.
33:56 roughly. So a bit, Sai is still a bit ahead. I think the delay actually got less. If I look at the timer now. Interesting. So yeah, as I said, the things that we eat change a little bit, but nothing to worry about, right? It's all fine.
At least no one did a hunger. No. Skipped a hunger, I mean.
Yep. Nice little early elevator
Nice.
by Sai. Looking good on timing for Panda. I'm not 100%. Yep, nice one. And Luke and Dofu basically completely level, starting the last animation about like 1 or 2 seconds apart from each other, I think. And now we are in the last chapter, which is ladies' quarters. So the last enemy, we saw Roger, we saw the chefs, and now we see the lady. Oh yeah, and then the guests in the guest area, of course. And now we see the lady, which is basically the final boss of the game, which will have to be defeated to finish the game.
My first playthrough of this game, the lady scared the crap out of me. She was so scary.
Yeah, also because you don't really know what happens, because she just vanishes as soon as you break the vase.
I was,
and
I
she's
was
just gone.
Where did she go?
And then you don't know what to expect,
happened?
where she comes again.
Yeah, you expected her to be like everywhere.
Yeah. And I mean, you also have these mannequins standing around with like a similar robe to what she wears. So you might, if you only catch a glimpse of them, you might think, oh, there she is. But it's not really her. But you'll see her back. No, don't worry. As we see with Sai, she will slam the door on you and then just spawn behind you to follow you. Which is kind of a stressing part of the game if you play for the first time, or as some runners will attempt later, if you do sprintless, which will
The
be
sprintless struggle in this
Oh,
chapter is
no.
insane. Yeah.
which will be
I'm
quite
not excited for it.
which will be quite interesting for all of us viewers. But as you just heard, the runners themselves that are going to go for sprintless are a little bit anxious about this chapter, because doing this without sprinting is actually quite hard.
Just do a super slide, man. Go fast.
So this is actually the next thing that is coming up. Thank you for the great transition. If you want to see how to beat this game without using the sprint button, then you will have to stick around, because after this NMG race we will have a sprintless race where the runners will not use the sprint mechanic. Now we're in the boss fight. You fight the lady with a mirror, because the thing she's most afraid of is a mirror. So you just hold it in her face and she goes, I don't want to see that, please take it away. And you have to do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times? 6 times?
6 times.
6 times, yeah.
2 random and...
Yeah, the first 2 are random. Everything after is either...
Well...
You can either...
I don't think the first 2 are really random.
No, you can manipulate them,
you
but
can-
Yeah, you can manipulate
not
them, yeah.
random.
Yeah.
they are
Supposedly
supposedly random.
You can like look the other direction and she will spawn behind you, right? If I remember correctly.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then the last 4 are always the same positions. You don't even need to turn away or anything. You can just look in the same directions. She will always come from the same directions.
Oh. Almost died there.
And then the last encounter will be the lady coming from the top, and then the mirror will break, which will be time for normal runs. As you can see with Sai, 39:54 is the time on the global timer. I don't know what your local timer says. 40:04 for Panda, but we'll have to take the little bit of delay into account. I don't know what your local timer says. And then we see Dofu and Luik finishing off like very, very close to each other, like only a few seconds apart.
Yeah, to be honest, this was
sounds
pretty
spicy.
close.
Yeah, very, very
So
close.
every racer was pretty close to each other.
We've seen different races, like 40, 39 for Luik. Back when we actually did more races, we saw races where there were like little hiccups, and then the runners got like a bit further apart. But and 40, 45 for Dofu. So all runners finished.
Yeah.
GG to everyone.
Ooh.
GG.
Jeez. Jeez all around.
And Sai just presented us with the last hunger set and the last bit of food that you can get. So yeah.
Can we actually post the live split times in the chat or something? I'm curious.
All right, so I can do that. Give me a sec. Need to go through it.
Just
Oh, I
in
did-
case that's possible.
Give me a
Dofu, you
moment.
already reset, right? So do you know what your time was on your local live split?
I forgot to activate
Okay.
the old script, so yeah.
So it's let me just write that together. So the times that I'm going to post in chat are gonna
And
be
actually got faster.
the local live split times from the runners, which
Well,
are
Panda just missed sub 38 barely.
Barely. I swear, if I didn't mess up the door jump in the very beginning of the game, it's like I would have got sub 39. So close.
all right. So these are the times that we know. Dofu's timer didn't start because of auto splitter. All right. So this was
RT
the
is faster than Panda, actually.
Hmm?
Whatever.
Huh?
My RTA timer is faster than Panda, but my IGT is slower. So let's go by
Woo.
in-game time.
So it's on first. Woo.
whoop whoop. So any last words from you? I think we see some of you again in a second, but you can just give a little.
I think
Last
it's
statement.
me and Panda for the next race.
Yeah, and then we are
Yeah.
also joined by Jiki and Dofu's staying on as well for sprintless. All right, so any last words from you? I didn't want to interrupt you. Nothing? Cool.
We will stick around
Dead
more time.
silence.
Stick around, everyone. We'll go into sprintless in a bit. We just take a little break. So get something to eat, get something to drink, restock on all that stuff that you need. So beating Little Nightmares without using the sprint button in about 5 to 10 minutes right here. So don't go anywhere.
Oh,
See you around.
boy.